This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
When local growers put great food on Tennessee tables, that's living green. On the next Live Green Tennessee, we meet a man who stumbled onto a unique plant in Sevier County. Next, we visit Williams Honey Farm in Franklin, Tennessee. And finally, we travel to Amazin Acres of Fun in Sparta. All this and more on the next Live Green Tennessee.
Pick Tennessee helps you find local farms and farmers markets, plus offers tips for choosing, using, and storing the fresh foods you buy. The Pick Tennessee mobile app is available now on iTunes and Google Play.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcasted in Tennessee.
Hello, I'm Melinda Kiefer, and I'm proud to bring you stories from across our great state on Live Green Tennessee. It may look like a cucumber, but one Sevier County man looking for something unique to grow stumbled upon the loofah. You can use them in the shower or even in the kitchen to scrub your pots and pans. Rob Ersprung shows us how he grows and harvests the loofah.
Well, my neighbors thought this was grape arbors because from the road it doesn't look like it's this high. And several of them would stop by and say, when are those grapes going to be ready? And then a couple of them thought that they were okras because they saw the flowers and they thought, what, this guy is growing giant okras or something. So it did cause a lot of stir among the neighbors. They really noticed for sure. Actually what it is a loofah. It's a loofah gourd. It's in the cucumber family. Each one of these flowers is the male flower and they come off every day. All these flowers come off. The females have their own special flower and it turns into the loofah. And the loofah just grows, it hangs on the vine for several months, and then we take the skin off and the sponge is inside. My name's Rob Ersprung. I grow loofahs in Sevier County. It's just our small farm, but we have lots of big loofahs. You know, normally people think a loofah is just in the shower for exfoliating your skin, but they're also very porous, which makes them great for scrubbing anything. I scrub my tractor with them. Pure mud, rinse it in a bucket, and it rinses clean. You know, normally people use them around the sink. You can clean your pots and pans with them, or scrub potatoes and carrots, or your sink itself, your stove top. Anything that you would use like a light Brillo pad on would be perfect for that. And they don't scratch, so you don't have to worry. When we're at the farmer's market, so many people come to me and say, what is this? I thought it was a sponge from the ocean. And I tell them, did you know loofahs grew on a vine like a cucumber? And they're all like amazed. Sometimes it's hard for them to believe. Sometimes they finally say, I finally get it once they see the whole loofah. But most people don't realize that they're from a gourd or grow on a vine. They think that they're from the ocean. Until a few years ago, I had no idea myself. I just had gotten this farm and was looking to grow different things and try different things, and I came across this and tried it, and it was a success. I was born in New York City, in the Bronx. I lived there until grade school, where we moved out of the city. My dad worked on the New York Stock Exchange, and I followed in his footsteps, but only lasted about 2 years. And when I got married, I hit the road and I traveled around the country 47,000 miles and stopped in Sevierville on September 14th, 1977. That was my 24th birthday, just by coincidence. And then we raised a family here, and I have children and grandchildren. There's so many beautiful, nice people around here. It's just a perfect place to raise a family, and it's been nothing but good to me my whole life. I've always gardened. Some years I've claimed we've grown the best corn human beings can grow because I concentrated on that a lot, but I've always wanted to try different things, and now this stage of my life, I'm just got this place and having a blast. So I don't know if I would say exotic, but I just thought this farm that I just got was so beautiful and the land was so perfect you could grow anything. And that was sort of my idea, is like, what could you grow if you could grow anything? And I came up with a few things, and this was one of them, the one that stuck. One thing being in Tennessee, especially right here, it was so flat and so sunny here. They need sun all the time. We're right in a bottomland, pretty much surrounded by a creek, and they need lots of water, as you can imagine. So being in a creek and this sunny location, it really just worked out perfect. Growing season to get a sponge is very long. We start them in March in a greenhouse. We take these plants out about the middle of May, once it's good and warm. They're still small then. Then as they grow up, we train them to the fence, and it's not for a couple of months before they start getting any loofahs at all. And they really don't start getting good loofahs until August and early September. Some of these won't even make it, because if it's an early frost or something, they'll be ruined. So this year we're going to throw plastic over the top to try to protect as many as we can to get a longer harvest. To harvest one, they hang here about 2 months, fully grown. And as they dry out and go to seed, the inside is just the whole loofah, and just peel off the skin. And you'll see, we take the seeds out, rinse them in rainwater, and then put them in the sun to dry. And that's the whole process. They practically last forever. They don't pull apart, and they just get softer with time. So they're really a beautiful part of nature. Whenever I tell people that they're practically indestructible and you can't pick them apart, they're always like, Mother Nature always does it better. And it really seems to be the case, because they just get softer in time. People ask me, how long do they last? And I just tell them, probably, if you take care of it, just as long as you want it to. We use them for this, we use them for that. Next thing, we use them for something nasty, and we're just done with it after several months and throw it away and get a new one. But if you wanted to, you could keep them for years. When I first started growing the loofahs, and what I was interested in learning about here was about farming, and I bought a cool old tractor. I wanted to grow things green and sustainable. I thought with this bottomland, I was just researching anything that could be grown. I figured it could be grown here in pure sun and this beautiful bottom. And that's why I thought I'd try it, because actually they say they're hard to grow and they're not a good cash crop. But being retired, I'm more or less having fun, and that's a bonus.
Williams Honey Farm is just like a beehive, many moving parts that all work together for one common goal: survival of the honeybee. They believe that if you feed the bee, you feed the world, and they are ready to do that one flower at a time.
I'm a firefighter. That's how I make most of my living, and I like helping people. And I naturally want to do something for someone or something that's in trouble. It's what I enjoy doing. So my wife, in 2008, read an article about how the bees were in trouble and how there was something called colony collapse disorder, and what the heck was it? She read it in the Tennessean and she said, hey, check this out. And I was like, huh, honeybees, that's interesting. Why is everybody afraid of honeybees? Bees are extremely important to our environment and our life. 1 out of every 3 bites that you take is thanks to a honeybee, pollinating a crop or fruit or whatever the case may be. So if we didn't have honeybees anymore, we would be in deep, deep trouble. We need them very much, just as much as they need us to try and survive right now. Williams Honey Farm is based in Franklin, Tennessee, and we do many things. We raise nucleus beehives, which are right behind me, which help new beekeepers get started every spring, usually around April, mid-April or so. We raise queens, so we raise local queens that are local to Tennessee and have our temperament and our understanding of the environment and the region around us, and the temperature and the seasons. We pollinate crops with solitary bees, which are stingless bees that are very gentle and are incredible pollinators. We produce raw honey. There's no real organic standard, but we are close to organic as you can get. We don't treat our hives with anything other than love and affection. We don't use antibiotics or any sort of harsh chemicals. We don't pasteurize our honey. So our honey is very different than the average honey you're going to find out there. It's handmade or hand spun. We are very connected to our livestock. A while back, we partnered with a company called Crown Bees, which are based in Washington, and they supply solitary bees to the whole country. And what we decided to do was, how can we best help farmers in Tennessee and this entire region of the Southeast? Well, we can put these solitary bees on their farms and in essence triple the production of produce that they can get out of their fields.
Jay Williams brought out some solitary bees this year, and it's the first year we've had them. But we brought out a T-post in the background, and it was a T-post hive, and it had leafcutter bees in it. He brought out about 1,000 leafcutter bees, and these solitary bee colonies of the leafcutter bees, actually they're superhero pollinators. They probably tripled our pollination rate this year, and it made for a very successful garden. By having a triple pollination rate, we were a little bit overwhelmed because we have never had this much produce before. It increased our sales on our U-Pick garden about 35%, and we closed our garden 2 weeks early this year because of the heat and the excessive amount of rain. Our plants deteriorated fast, but so there's no telling how much we would have actually had in production.
It's a very little known technique. This is brand new, and we were able to do just that this year on multiple farms in Tennessee.
They do a super job with having either mason bees for the spring or being able to do leafcutter bees for the summer, because we're definitely going to continue this program.
And doing it all with a smile on their face, no one gets stung. It's very calm and quiet, you barely know they're there. And they love it, we love it, and it also helps spread the message. So the first thing that people can start doing today to help the bees and help pollinators in your area is stop using chemicals in your backyard. The more you can treat your backyard as your pet, literally that you take care of it, you want to make sure that it's healthy, make sure that it's protected. The more you can do that, the better off it's going to be for the pollinators. I would stop using Roundup or any sort of those herbicide chemicals, and I would try and use more natural ways to combat any sort of problems you have in your backyard. One thing that someone can also do, in addition to planting bee-friendly flowers in the backyard and stop using chemicals, is to get native bees in their backyard. Native bees are also called mason bees, they're also called summer garden bees, leafcutter bees. Surprisingly, they're incredible pollinators. One native bee is the equivalent to 100 honeybees. They are actually 100 times more efficient at pollinating than a honeybee is. Most people just don't know about it. Every day that I come to this bee yard or other bee yards that I'm working, I learn something new from a tiny little bug. I feel like they can teach us something in how they run their hive and how they operate, and we can apply it to our lives. There's one leader, they follow that leader. Everybody has a job, there's really no freeloading. They work as hard as they possibly can, and their ultimate mission is the survival of the hive rather than their personal survival. And I think that there's something to be said for that. You can apply to your own life, that you don't just think about yourself, you think about everybody around you and how you can best help your house, your environment, your company, whatever the case may be. So the takeaway message here is that honeybees and bees in general are your friend. They're not your enemy. They're very, very beneficial and they're very important to our lives. And anybody can start today to help the bees in general. You can raise solitary bees in your backyard. You can become a honeybee keeper as well. And we love helping people get started in the honeybee business and raising their own honey, selling it to friends, or just enjoying it with their own family. Anybody can become a beekeeper from young to old, and we can help you get started. You just need to contact us and we will take care of the rest.
The owners of Amazin Acres of Fun want you to come and create some unforgettable memories of your own. It is a place for fun and outdoor experiences with activities for everyone to enjoy. Pick your own pumpkins and pet the farm animals, or just come and play. With hay rides and cow rides and activities galore, they have acres to explore.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I like the rainbow bouncer the best.
It's a great time to be with Isaiah here. Mom has school, Dad work. I get to spend the day with Isaiah. It's a beautiful day here. There's a lot of things to do here at Amazin Acres.
There's a lot to do here. It's awesome.
We actually had gone to a meeting in East Tennessee and had heard about corn maze, and there was not anything like that around here, and we just thought it would just be the neatest thing. I was doing Bible drill at church, and I thought this will be something good for my students, you know, something fun.
It was her idea to do the corn maze originally, and my idea to do the strawberries. So we kind of just, they've always worked together, so we kind of just started both of them at the same time.
We offer spring farm adventures, where that we take people to the strawberry patch to pick strawberries, but we also offer the maze and the fall farm adventure that includes the maze and the pumpkin patch and all of our farm activities. And new this past year we started doing an egg hunt that was also very fun on the farm. So we're inviting families to come to the farm to learn about agriculture and also just to have a good time and create some unforgettable memories.
You know, every day we've got so many things going on in our lives, and everybody's busy. It doesn't matter who you are, and you know, one thing that I've realized is that, you know, my kids they're only getting older, and so it's important to take time out of our busy days to make sure that we spend time with those that are most important to us.
All the kids pretty much have a different reaction to different activities. Some really, really love the rainbow bouncer. Some really, really love the zip line. Some really love the mega slide. So you just can't never tell. Some love the corn box and some like to eat dinner. So it just depends on the child, but they all have a good time.
Most everybody has some ancestors that farmed in their lifetime, sometime or another. But over the years and generations, we've got further and further away from a farm. And we're so far away from the farm nowadays that a lot of kids don't really realize where their hamburger comes from. They might think it comes from McDonald's, but they don't realize it started on a farm somewhere. And our mission is to create a learning environment to teach not only kids, but maybe adults that's never had the experience to grow up on a farm or be around agriculture. You know, agriculture is a world within itself. And without agriculture, humans could not exist.
Actually, mine is milking the cow.
You like milking the cow? Okay.
Those days I spent on the farm helping my dad, they're not only good memories, but it instilled in me and helped develop me to be able to take over the farm. I took over this farm when I was 18 years old. My dad was totally blind, completely blind, couldn't see nothing. And with the help of a few neighboring older farmers that helped me out and making some decisions, I was running this dairy at 18. And I could not have done that if my dad had not kind of prepared me and showed me the ropes along the way.
We had a customer come a few years ago. It was him and his son. And he said that they mostly stayed home and played on the computer and video games and that kind of thing. But he said when he left, he came up to me and he said, "I just want to tell you that this is the most fun that we have had, and I cannot tell you when." He said just being able to play outside all day long and leave all that stuff at home. You know, people do need to get out away from their computers and their video games and experience nature. And agriculture is here on our farm is part of nature. So,
as a parent, we're having a great time today. It's awesome to get away from work on a beautiful day, come out here to spend some time with my son and his classmates from school. The field trip, we've had a fantastic time. And it's just really great being out here, especially at Amazin Acres, a place that's so close by and just has so much to offer families and kids. We're having a great time, and no other place I'd rather be right now than in this beautiful area with my son.
here on our farm, we do have a lot of families that come on the weekends. And we have a lot of church groups that will come on Sunday nights or Wednesday nights if they want to have a fellowship time. It's just their group. It's a good quiet time, and they can sing around the campfire, take a hayride, do all the activities on the farm, and just get to know people in their church bodies. And we do that for corporate events, birthday parties, you know, pretty much just bring cake and ice cream, and everything else is, you know, all good.
My name is Jackson. I like the zip line.
And so our mission is to teach, try to, with fun thrown in, we try to let them leave here with a little bit of something that they've learned about agriculture and where their food comes from.
And their clothing.
And their clothing.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Live Green Tennessee, where we take you all across the state into the farms and businesses of those who are making the move to eating fresh, living sustainably, and helping us all be more organic in our thinking and the way we live our lives as Tennesseans. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Live Green Tennessee.
If you would like more information about Live Green Tennessee, please visit our website at livegreentv.org, where you can find everything from healthy recipes to past episodes and more.
Pick Tennessee helps you find local farms and farmers markets, plus offers tips for choosing, using, and storing the fresh foods you buy. The Pick Tennessee mobile app is available now on iTunes and Google Play.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcasted in Tennessee. This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.